We're learning that Charlie Kirk's memorial service will be in Glendale, Arizona this Sunday at 11 a.m. I think that's noon Utah time. Security is, and it's going to be at the football stadium there, I'm told, and that the security is reportedly at Super Bowl levels as preparations continue. The stadium, I think, holds something like 70,000 people, and they're expecting 100,000. Trump, Vance, other White House officials are expected to be there. We do have NewsNation's national correspondent, Alex Caprariello, who is going to talk to us about what a high-level event this is. Alex, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
And what are we hearing about the level of preparation for this? And am I correct that it's going to be at the stadium?
Yeah, you're right. State Farm Stadium. It's where the Arizona Cardinals play. Last time they had a Super Bowl there was Super Bowl 52. I think that was Chiefs and Eagles 2022. I was actually at that stadium for that Super Bowl, and I can attest to the level of security that's there. I mean, when you have that many people from all around the world coming, it's a lot of pressure for law enforcement. You were close to the capacity size. It's about 63,000. It's unclear how many, if they're going to go to like a sold-out capacity level or if they're going to tame it down a little bit. That's going to really be at the discretion of the United States Secret Service and of the State Farm Stadium staff. But regardless, obviously, this is a massive event that a lot of people want to attend, so security really has to be buttoned up. The big difference here is that when, State Farm Stadium chooses to have a Super Bowl, the NFL gives them about a 2 years advance notice. And so they literally take every single day of those 2 years to plan and prepare. Now they're trying to have the same type of security, but only have a week to prepare. So, it's a lot of pressure, like I mentioned, on these law enforcement partners, but they feel like they got everything at least underway in preparation for Sunday.
Can we ask about what those preparations look like? I've never attended a Super Bowl. What does it look like?
Yeah, so it's really a huge effort from a lot of different agencies. So from the outside looking in, outside of the stadium, it's going to be the Glendale Police Department, who is the lead agency. And they will coordinate with other local law enforcement, think sheriff's offices and various police departments that are in the nearby area, because they're all volunteering their own officers also as help. And then Glendale PD, so in addition to the several hundred officers that'll be outside either on foot or in their patrol cars, some of them in their uniforms, some of them in plain clothes blending into the general population. Then they'll also have drones that are flying at all times. They will have advanced security cameras that are being monitored 24/7 by officers off-site that are constantly looking for suspicious activity. And then, maybe you'll also see some other aerial assets like helicopters and whatnot, just kind of looking all around. And then from the inside of the stadium, it's no longer the police department's jurisdiction, but now it becomes the jurisdiction of the United States Secret Service. And that's only because, President Trump, Vice President Vance, and then various other levels of the Trump administration are going to be in attendance. So that has to really be buttoned up on the inside.
Alex, about 20-some years ago, we had the Olympics here in Utah, and I recall at those venues, we had almost like a cordoned-off area where you had to get through a fenced area where there were metal detectors. I am sure that no one's going to be allowed into this or near this stadium without passing through a metal detector and other kind of security like that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking from experience, covering the campaign trail last year, where United States Secret Service is in charge of the event, they take it very, very seriously. You have to absolutely pass through those metal detectors. If for whatever reason you have a bad heart or you choose that you do not want to do that, well, then that's okay, but you're going to be pat down, and you're going to be pat down pretty thoroughly. In addition to that, there are certain things that you can't bring in, water bottles. So, like, think about those metal, I can't remember what they're called nowadays, but, the metal water bottles everyone carries around, those can be considered a weapon. So can't bring that in. Clear bags, I think, is the rule this Sunday. You're allowed a small clear bag that you can see all your items, but no backpacks, nothing of that nature that might be able to hide a sort of weapon or something that could be used to harm others.
Let me ask you about showing up. So if the funeral is planned for 11 a.m. and you have tens of thousands of people trying to get in through really heightened security, what time are people going to be showing up and ready to go into the stadium?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's people already outside State Farm Stadium right now.
Oh,
I can't say that for sure because I'm in Salt Lake City right here with you, still at the university covering students back to school. But with something like this that has drawn such emotional responses from people that want to pay their respects and honor the legacy of Charlie Kirk, I would not be surprised if they're lining up right now. They're not going to get into State Farm Stadium until Sunday, but I expect several thousand people really to be outside waiting to get in. And again, I don't know the final number of how many people of the general population will be allowed in, but at the very least, you're going to need to be there hours ahead if you want the opportunity to be inside there for that event.
I hadn't thought about that, Alex, but it's not like you get a ticket for it. Is it
Right.
first come, first served? And we're also reading that there's a suggested dress code.
Yep, that's my understanding of it. First come, first serve, and I don't have much to report in terms of dress code at this time. Sorry.
It's okay. We're seeing it's supposed to be Sunday best, red, white, or blue. But we didn't realize you were here in Utah, so we're so sorry that you're out here for that. But you're down in our neck of the woods, and you're covering my neck of the woods. You're covering the students going back to school. So let me just ask you, how have your responses been as you've asked students about that?
Yeah, it's really is heartbreaking. And candidly, I do a very good job of sort of leaving my thoughts and opinions out of everything I do for my job. That's my professional code. But, walking into this university, it's hard not to get choked up. I can feel this sense of heaviness inside here when I look at the students' faces that are standing outside the sort of gated fence that's protecting the area where Kirk was assassinated. You could see that this was a heavy, traumatic moment for so many of these students. I mean, keep in mind, there were several thousand of them that were literally there watching the moment that the bullet shot through Kirk's neck. So they are all dealing with just this heavy trauma. To the university's credit, they are doing a great job in providing resources and outreach and opportunities for folks to talk about what they saw, or if they just don't feel like talking about it but feel like watching a movie. I just walked past that, a classroom here on the university campus that's been designated with stuffed animals and an anime movie playing, just so that way people can just decompress and feel some level of comfort. So most certainly it's a tough time right now at this university. But if I could take a look and describe the students, I would say that they're rather resilient at this time, somber and really thoughtful about what happened, but also working through it together.
In our last minute, Alex, how would you describe that cordoned off area where the actual shooting took place?
So we saw some work here. I believe it was Monday afternoon. It was the first time that the university was open to staff. They also opened it up to the media. They gated off the amphitheater, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with Utah Valley University, but sort of in their main quad area, they have several tiers of grassy sort of seating areas, and that's where Charlie Kirk was having his event. So they've gated that off. And in the actual section where his canopy was and where he was sitting, they had completely tore up the grass and the sod, and instead were putting fresh pavers down. And it was an all-day construction effort where we saw them lay these pavers down. And the university told me that was just them sort of cleaning up the area and making it more presentable for when students return to campus. So now that all that construction is done, students are on campus. They are allowed to see this quad. They're able to look at the amphitheater. They're able to see the new pavers that are on the ground. And also they unfurled a pretty massive American flag directly above it that sort of has been there since Monday. So it really has become sort of a memorial of sorts, nothing long-term, so to speak, in terms of a statue or something to memorialize the area. But it has been sort of deemed a sacred place, at least in this moment, for people to come, reflect, observe it, pray, whatever that they need to do in order to process their grief.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking with NewsNation's national correspondent, Alex Caprariello.